Hi, we're the Salch family, Dave and Brenda Salch.
In the Rogue Valley of Southern Oregon.
We're here creating a sustainable farm with our family to produce nutrient-dense foods.
Let's go take a look.
We have a very unique farming operation here. We have a set of rules that we live by. The basics of those are we're no intervention. We don't do anything to the animals that doesn't happen to them in the wild, which means there's no chemicals used whatsoever, no vaccinations, no medicines. We don't do any docking of tails, we don't castrate, we don't do cutting of beaks off, we don't do artificial insemination. We don't do any of the things that is common practice in conventional farms today. So these animals are really living the life that they would if they lived in the wild. At the same time, we're very careful about the food sources. What we can't grow ourselves, we source very carefully. All of our feeds are organic or they're non-GMO, soy-free. Everything we have here is completely soy-free. And we give the animals a wide variety of foods, naturally fermented products, some of the stuff that we grow ourselves, things that they would come across in the wild. For the chickens, we're now growing insects to feed insects to the chickens, birds. That's their primary food source in the wild. So we're doing things trying to duplicate nature in a small contained scale on these little 10 acres that would heal the land in the process of providing good food for people. And we're trying to do this in a sense that makes financial sense. One of the problems with a lot of these things done in the past is, at the end of the day, if it doesn't make money, somebody has to support it. We don't have the resources to support it, so we have to design a business model around it that means that the farm supports itself. And that's been quite the challenge in and of itself. So in essence, I would say what we're doing is returning to the farm of early America, where you have a variety of species, they're living naturally. Nothing is geared for production, it's all geared for quality. The prices reflect that. We're not the cheapest around. In fact, we tend to be some of the more expensive of the local farms. But in exchange for that, you get quality that you can't get anywhere else.
Okay, here go the duck eggs.
So what's so much better about these eggs?
They taste better. And they're nutritious, of course, but they taste better. It's a better egg.
Most of our customers come to us with some sort of health condition, and most of them get some sort of relief and or healing from using foods that are produced the traditional way. It is really about what we take in. The old saying, you are what you eat. It is very true. How our body works is determined by what we eat and how those foods are prepared. It's not just the food, it's how the food is created and how the food is prepared. It all matters.
It's so important for us to be able to provide this food for them because most of our customers live in town and they're not able to produce this kind of food for themselves, and you can't buy it. So it's an important job. Oops. You okay there? It's so much more peaceful having the children here where we can experience the outdoors and they can learn so much about the farm and the animals, and we're just always learning together with them about all the different activities that we're coming across, and they get to play outside and run and be free and climb the trees and play with the animals, and it's so peaceful to be together with the family, and it's just a dream come true.
We moved here about 5 years ago. This will be our 6th year. And what happened is a couple of important things took place in our life. After we moved here, we started learning about the modern agriculture industry and the failures of that industry. We started learning about how animals were treated in conventional farms, how crops were raised, We were unaware of all of these things previously. I was just a computer executive down in Southern California, living the typical Southern California life. But the more we learned about how food was being produced, both animal and plant-based foods, the more appalled we became, to the point where we realized eventually we can't buy food in the store. It's just not the right way to do things. It's hurting the land, it's hurting people, it's disrespectful to animals. It was just appalling. At the same time, some of our children ran into some severe health issues. We have one child that struggles with ADD. We have another child that has struggled with ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder. And one of the things we notice is when you give them common food, standard American food, like when we eat out, that sort of thing, their ability to focus, their ability to control their own mind is lost, sometimes for days. Through that, and through a very interesting series of learnings, we discovered that food, properly produced food, nutrient-dense food, is actually medicine. And it can heal things. It can allow the body to heal itself in ways that are just simply amazing. So on one hand, we had this realization that the food you see on the store shelves is not really food. It's not something that you want to put in your body. And the way that it's produced is just destroying the earth. And we had to produce our own food to help our own children heal. Subsequent to that, we did learn how to grow food. We learned how to raise animals properly. We learned how to respect them. And we learned how to heal our children of these problems that they had by using food. And somewhere along the way, we realized that there has to be a lot of other parents in the same boat as us. Parents seeking answers for their children that there doesn't seem to be any answers to. People wanting to heal the land and return to a place where Americans built the land instead of destroying the land. And out of all of that, we decided to start a farm and start offering to other people what we've used ourselves to heal our family.